Level 88, going underground. Fortunal's ability to maintain a stiff upper lip is being sorely tested. As instructed, I shall take you to see the ether burner. Meet me outside the Archaeon. I trust you can make your own way there. So the Ark is being built in Labyrinthos. Hardly surprising. Where else could they conceal such massive undertaking? We go this way? We have to go up and around. Am I even going the right way? We'll just teleport. Our destination lies in the lower levels. Form, in its wisdom, has granted you access to the Archaeon's lift. Step inside and have Ophaline take you to the medial circuit. You wish to use the lift, yes? Proceed to the medial circuit. Yes. I have sent your associates ahead to Logisticon Alpha on the other side of Mariol Agronomics. Actually, there's something I've been meaning to... No, never mind. It can wait. Let us attend to the matter at hand. We go down this way. I guess we have to go the long... through the cave again. Great tomato. I think we go this way. Go down that way. Cave. Can we go in here now? Yeah, it's Logisticon Alpha. We have to wait here while our father arranges for us to use the next lift. Here, being Logisticon Alpha, where the atmospheric conditions of Labyrinthos are regulated. Water is drawn from underground and dispersed as vapor, stimulating the formation of artificial clouds and rain. By manipulating the temperature and air circulation, they are able to create the ideal environment for the growth and preservation of the biological samples kept here. Hold on, how do you know so much about it? Why, father brought me here as a child. What? And left me behind? Actually, you're the one who left me behind when you went off somewhere with grandfather. Night before, I'd been asking father how clouds are made, so he decided to show me. It was fascinating. I peppered him with questions the entire time. It is all too easy to take for granted the many interweaving aspects of the natural world, to grow inured to the wondrous. But having gained an understanding of the complex mechanisms employed by the Loperates in recreating a similar environment, I have come to view such processes in a new light. Subterranean gardens of Labyrinthos, a lunar prison forged to contain the ancient Zodiac, the habitations built for all mankind neath the moon's surface, each unique yet undeniably similar. It is no mere coincidence. Ever since Heidelin unfolded to us the grim fate that awaits the theorists, every essential resource we could spare has been delivered to Labyrinthos in preparation for the Great Exodus. But that is not all. It's also a testing ground for the technologies that will allow us to settle on distant stars. Though the Loperates have endeavored to make the moon inhabitable, that is not our final destination. Mankind must learn to propagate life where there is none, to thrive where all is barren. Last time is not on our side. I have arranged for you all to enter the Central Circuit. It is there that most of our preparations for the Great Exodus are carried out, the construction of the Ark among them. Though our plans have been made public, access remains highly restricted. You, however, will not be subject to said restrictions and will have free reign to come and go as you please. Such was the will of the Forum, after all. We will prove ourselves worthy of their trust, your trust. Then let us proceed. That stuff. By decree of the Forum, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn are permitted to enter the Central Circuit. Proceed to the Central Circuit. Yes. The ether burner is being constructed not far from here. Overseeing the work is Koko Donko, after whom the forge is named. Once the necessary introductions have been made, I shall leave you with him to discuss the particulars this way. Locals Forge.
I could swap them out. No, been there, done that. Damn near lost me eyebrows. Think, Coco, think! We'd be well on our way to paradise. Visionaries patting themselves on the backs for their grand accomplishments if you'd only think!
Yes, that does sound rather lovely.
Yeah! I mean, Master Force, you know, what a pleasant surprise. We're not blasting off already, are we?
The schedule remains unchanged, for better or worse. Which is why the Forum has elected to accept assistance in resolving the ether burner conundrum.
Huh. Not seen you lot down here before.
There are archons among their number, but engineering is not their expertise. Nevertheless, the Forum concedes the slim possibility that they may have insights to offer. If not, you are at liberty to return them to the surface, by whatever means you see fit.
I assure you that won't be necessary. Now, about your troubles with the ether burner.
Aye, I'll walk you through it. Suppose I could do with a change of pace. As the name ought to tell you, the ether burner burns ether, ambient or otherwise, and transforms it into motive force. Think of it like a giant bomb that never stops exploding. Even out in that black void where the ether's right sparse, it's strong enough to move our arc. And it probably won't kill you like an actual bomb. But it ain't perfect. According to my calculations, to travel to the moon and back fast enough for the Forum's liking, the conversion rate needs to be 6% more efficient. A measly 6%, you say? But if I could have squeezed even another 0.6 out of it, don't you think I'd have built it that way in the first place?
Hast thou consulted with the Loperids?
Yes, they too are conducting their own research, for lack of a ready answer. The moon's propulsion systems are considerable, naturally, yet they are commensurately massive. It is no easy feat to convert their technology into an efficient means of propulsion for a teeny tiny toy boat, as they say, and as I most certainly do not.
Yes, exactly! Damn it all, I asked for refined adamantite and they send me uppity rabbits with inscrutable, ancient, incompatible technology! You're trying to drive me mad!
Do you speak of Allegan refined adamantite, perchance?
You know of it?
Only in the most general terms, I'm afraid. 'Twas an alloy of Allegan make, but the secrets of its production were closely guarded. As I recall, the record stated it was vital to Dalamud's construction and launch.
Aye, that's the stuff. No material more conductive far as I know. Slotting some ends like blowing up a dam and watching the river of ether come rushing through. Ain't a living soul that knows how to make it though. We were fortunate enough to salvage some for the ether burner, just a wee bit, mind, from a chunk of Dalamud that came hurtling into the Northern Empty during the calamity. With more, well, that extra 6% efficiency would be child's play. It's a crying shame that we've no other sources.
Surely the many shards of Dalamud scattered throughout Eorzea would suffice. Why not get the refined adamantite from them?
Oh, we tried, believe you me. But only a few specialised pieces would have had any in them to begin with. Drive calls from Ragnarok-class internment hulks. Those are the prize bits we really need. According to the Gleaners, getting to them means delving deep into the shards. And the defences are still very operational and very eager to blow them up. It's rough going in there, even for the cream. Not sure they'd make it out alive.
Weren't we near that part of the Ragnarok when we went to destroy Bahamut?
Want me to go and fetch the what's-its? The White Raven's ghost, it haunts me. Sounds like a job for someone else.
That may be for the best, though you doubtless find the task too dull for your liking.
There are multiple internment hulks in Eorzea alone, so handling this ourselves may not be the most efficient option. Rather, if we could salvage adamantite from the shards simultaneously... Thancred, is the link shell we established before you went to Garlemald still active?
Of course. The floor is yours.
What's all this?
Gathering firewood, so to speak. We alone can accomplish little,
but joined by others, we may yet build a bonfire to carry us heavensward.
Heaven's word.
This is Alphino. The Scions have need of you.
Understood. I will contact the Lord Commander and dispatch our finest at once.
My sisters are somewhat preoccupied with the final days, so I will lead the 12-Sword expedition myself.
Are you aware of any other sources of refined adamantite?
Logically, such an invaluable alloy would have been utilized solely where absolutely necessary, in components intended to conduct or collect surpassing amounts of ether. Any extant instrumentation or devices would have likely found their way into the hands of etherologists, or enthusiasts.
Magical artifacts of Allagan design? The Eastern Alliance will send word to one and all. Are there other ways we may offer aid? No shards of the Lesser Moon scar our soil, but our stake in this cause is no less for it.
Is there anything in Othard that might be of use to you?
What did you say? Oh, you got friends in far places, lad. Anyway, if you're offering, I wouldn't say no to one of those Far Eastern sacred relics. Some of them can hold enough ether to summon a whole damn primal. Combine a source like that with the ether burner, and 3, 2, 1, kaboom!
I gather you heard his explosive enthusiasm. Might you secure us a suitable relic?
It shall be done. I know little of machines, but I promise we will do our utmost to gather the materials you need to finish your starship. I am glad for the work, in truth. Better to busy oneself than wait and fret over disasters foretold.
Then why are we all still standing about yapping? There's plunder for the taking. And I'm a born plunderer. I'll be an old Charlian before you know it. Start mixing the grog.
I'm certain that can be arranged. Thank you all, and do be careful.
Just like that.
Aye, just like that. Our refined adamantite is on its way. Now let us consider our next steps, shall we? There's yet much to be done.
To the moon. It's times like these we're reminded of how famous or infamous Alphinaud has become. Who'd have thought he could achieve so much with a single link pearl conversation? If we're expecting rather a lot of visitors in the near future, I'd best return to the surface and inform the relevant parties. I'll also have a contact of my own that might be worth a try. Oh, and who might that be? That's for me to know and you to find out. And on that note, I leave matters here in your capable hands. Best of luck. Level 88, going underground, complete. Meanwhile, in Ul'dah,
our course of action is clear. We must harvest refined adamantite from the shards of Dalamud and procure arcane relics of Allagan make. Summon the best and brightest of our immortal flames and form an expeditionary party at once. Call upon the Sultan Sworn and Brass Blades for support as you must. Papashan, Send word to the guilds. We will require the expertise of master artisans if we are to have any hope of identifying and recovering these elusive materials. Viergeist, we have need of your stone torches. They are to assist the immortal flames in scouring the ruins and to help secure the surrounding areas. I trust I can count on your support.
As commander of the Stone Torches, my son Zimberk will personally see it done.
Pippin, I would have you lead the raiding party. Assemble your finest, and with Tizona's blade clear the way. Lord Lolorito, I pray you take charge of the search for Allagan relics. Surely you know of some being traded on open or clandestine markets, or sleeping in collectors' vaults. Of course, I ask not that you do this out of the kindness of your heart. By all means, profit on the transactions. I wish you the joy of it. The final days descend upon our world. If circumstances are truly as dire as they say, Uldar's best efforts may be for naught. And yet, when we Eorzeans rose from the ashes to rebuild our broken realm, did we not learn one simple truth? That which seems all but impossible to overcome alone may yet be possible if we stand together. It was the Scions who united us then, and it is the Scions who call upon us now. Uldar will answer that call. We will summon our courage and join the fight for our world's future. You know your duties. I, Nanamo Ulnamo, 17th in the line of Ul, bid you good luck and Godspeed.
Meanwhile, in the Black Shroud,
We fielded a goodly number, but our ranks are heavy with healers, and an abundance of restorative magics will be of little help in destroying Dalamud's defenses. Still, it has ever been thus with Gridania. We must steel ourselves for a protracted engagement.
In that case, might I suggest taking us along?
Commander Hext, what are you doing here?
None of the shards in Girabania are big enough to hold an internment hulk. So we said to ourselves, why not lend our neighbors a hand? We thought you might be short on people with a talent for breaking things.
While it pains me to admit it, you are right. Our deficiency so plain to see.
It might have been a lifetime ago, but I was once one of the Scions assigned to the Shroud. I know this forest well. I know your people. And I know we will be stronger if we fight this fight together.
Then I will impose upon you with a clear conscience. Come, let us speak of how to integrate our forces.
I won't let it all be for nothing. I promise you, Papalimo.
Meanwhile, in Kurthis,
There you are! We've no time to waste, brother. Everyone has already... Ah. That was a roar! A dragon's roar!
meanwhile, in the Ruby Sea,
And so, in summation, the Eastern Alliance, as well as the Honourable Lord Lolorito himself, reached out to me for assistance in procuring these treasures of the divine, and I, in turn, do beseech the Confederacy for aid. Is that...
Torban.
Hancock? What a surprise this is. And a fortuitous one at that. I have a favor to ask, you see.
Level 88, no job too small. Alvinord was resisting the urge to pat himself on the back. Though our friends are searching for refined adamantite and sacred relics, we will only know if they meet your requirements once they have arrived. Meantime, is there aught else we might do to be of service? You've already done more than enough. If I had to say, though, I could use someone who knows a thing or two about Allegan technology. You there, the lad with the red eyes and matching hair, you seem to know more than your average scholar. If only Master Coco knew how right he was. While he and Graha establish a rapport, why don't we help with preparations for the Great Exodus? Indeed, this would mean going above and beyond the terms of our arrangement, but I propose this is not to curry favor. As confident as I am that we will succeed, we must be ready for every eventuality. This would also be an opportunity to familiarize ourselves with the logistics of traversing the Great Expanse, and if nothing else, it beats twiddling our thumbs while we wait for the adamantite. Well, ain't you a bunch of helpful buggers? If you've a mind to lend a hand, I know where you ought to go. Charlie and Hamlet is lousy with researchers and scholarly types busying themselves preparing for the Exodus. That lot need all the help they can get. Well then, off we go. A new aetherite. From what I can tell, a lot of the people actually live down here. I don't know how much help we can offer, but I dare say they'll benefit from some of that fresh inspiration Skylark Monteshane mentioned. Start by asking around, ideally without getting in anyone's way. Let's meet by the Aetheryte once our work is done. Eddy current. Helping with the Ark, even with all the power Master Kokol's managed to squeeze out of the Aether Burner, it's still not enough, apparently. And now I hear the final days have arrived, horrible creatures running rampant all over. If only we'd begun Exodus sooner. People are dying, and there'll be no end to it if we don't fulfill our duties. But we will. We've spent years preparing for this moment. Believe in the plan, and all will be well. Offering to help? That's very kind, but I should be able to organize the rest of the documents by myself. Mostly list of the things we'll need once we arrive on the moon, and then whichever star we choose as our new home. My duties largely concern the maintenance of living conditions, so I'll be a lot busier after we depart. I hear that our lunar collaborators have come down to assist in our efforts. I'm looking forward to finally meeting them in person after having communicated with them in such a limited capacity thus far. To be perfectly honest, I've not even the slightest idea of what they look like. I do hope they're not enormous, glooming giants. Why, I would much prefer something small and fluffy like that behatted rabbit that ran by. Oh, hello. Are you one of the new helpers? Working on the Ether Burner. Oh dear, I hear things have come to a standstill on that front. Even so, I'd choose that over my current duties. Checking and loading samples day in, day out. It's tiring, thankless work. Still, no one will be cross if I misplace a few legumes or what have you. Form's got enough on their plate as it is. What with deciding who gets to board the Ark and when, a lot of powerful people have opinions about that. My heart goes out to Master Fortunal and the others. Hardly get a moment's rest, I expect. Do they even have time to sleep? Let's attune. Living way. Fancy meeting you here. Our friends in the forum brought us to see their teeny tiny boat, toy boat, which was quite impressive considering they didn't use any creation magics. What we're really interested in is Aetheris itself, though we now find ourselves in a sort of funny underground miniaturized version of it. We were hoping the forum would give us a guided tour, but it appears they're rather preoccupied. Honestly, all that time to prepare and they're still not ready? Suppose we'll just have to show ourselves around, or at least that's what we were planning to do until we chanced upon Urianger and your good self. Since you're both dawdling about, engaging in idle chit-chat, perhaps you could show us a few points of interest. Won't that be fun? Level 88, no job too small, complete. Level 88, wise guy. Try as he might, Urianger cannot free himself of the Loporrits. A tour of Labyrinthos, an unexpected yet prudent suggestion. Given the similarities betwixt this artificial environment and Bestway's burrow, it would be in our best interest to have the Loporrits acquaint themselves with those conditions deemed optimal by their Charlian collaborators. Fear, however, that continued reliance upon my limited knowledge would risk narrowing rather than broadening their perspectives. Mayhap thou art better suited to lead this venture? What a marvelous idea. Might we begin with that great big what's-it over yonder? Ah yes, the what's-it. I shall leave its explanation to Zilly. Goodness me, to build something so large without creation magics is positively stupendous. Perhaps you could direct our attention to its most important features. Survey the Watson. Search the apparatus for points of potential interest. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out, target an area, and inspect it with right trigger /A. Thanks. It's a little hard to see from here, but is that a golden pipe connected to the top of those tanks? And I can see through that window another pipe at the bottom. Ah, this must be for purifying water drawn up from below. Is that water I hear from inside that great big tube? Must be because of those cogs and that gigantic wheel at the top. Oh, I see. That's how they draw up the water. There's probably some sort of spiral-shaped mechanism inside it, too. Whee! That looks like the trees in Greatest Innsvale. Hold on, that's a bit of strange shape. It's thin at the bottom, but big and round at the top. Quite tall for something so unbalanced, too. That makes sense. That's where they store the water. Well, if I were to hazard a guess, water drawn from underground, presumably with some other mechanism, is purified here and stored in that tower before being distributed elsewhere. I'm right, aren't I? I knew it, a design brilliant in its simplicity. I dare say it would take only a moment to install in even the harshest of environments. For us Loperates, that is. Indeed, securing a reliable source of water is of the utmost importance for any fledgling settlement. We have read, however, that peoples of Aethera sometimes make their homes in arid deserts and such. How are they able to survive? Many settlements in Thanalin are built near an oasis. Areas near waterfalls are common sites for villages in Girabanya. Wherever you choose to live, you're never far from water. Oh dear, I worry we won't be able to procure the necessary amount. We can provide enough water to keep them from drying out completely, but it would appear they rely on it far more than we'd anticipated. A few adjustments may be in order once we've calculated the average rate of consumption per individual. May also be worth learning more about how exactly they obtain their water in the first place. Master Alphinaud spoke of the machinery responsible for that feat during our journey through Logisticon Alpha, did he not? Mayhap the Loperates will share his appreciation for the engineering marvel. Oh yes, that sounds absolutely splendid. Must journey beyond the sanctuary of Shoreland Hamlet. I shall lead the way. You mean we'll have to brave the untamed wilderness? Valid concern indeed. We could not help but notice the many dangerous-looking creatures with big nasty teeth lurking beyond the safe confines of this settlement. Were we not escorted here by burly custodians, I dread to think what would have become of us. Regrettably, to many a hungry predator with the aforementioned big nasty teeth, Loperates may appear to be a potential and rather appetizing source of sustenance. Might I impose upon thee to assist in securing safe passage to Logisticon Alpha? For my part, I shall act as escort to Living Way and Cooking Way. I trust Singing Way and Growing Way to thy care. More valiant protector they could not wish for. Godspeed. If it's all the same to you, I'd rather not be eaten by some horrid beastie. Come along, Growing Way, to the water extraction Watson. jump over this? Go the long way around. MU. Thank you so much. I really hope this water extraction Watson is worth these harrowing experiences. All part of the fun, some might say, but I'd rather not be burnt to a crisp if it's all the same to you. Through here. My friends, I bid you welcome to Logisticon Alpha. Destination doth lie at the lift's top. Hey, follow me. Oh, wrong button. Oh. You will need to use this lift should you wish to go to the Medial Circuit. Let me know if you are headed that way. Yes, proceed to the Medial Circuit. Marvelous, simply marvelous. So this is where the magic, or science rather, takes place. The perfect environment to sustain life artificially created. Knowledge we'll gain here will be essential when we start looking for new stars for your kind to inhabit. Apparently most of them don't even have air for you to breathe. You're all very lucky that Aetheris just so happens to provide everything you need to thrive, or did mankind turn out the way they are because of the available resources, I wonder? Either way, it's nothing short of miraculous, and I cannot wait to see more of it. Level 88, Wise Guides, complete. Level 88, Agriculture Shock. Cooking Way is eager for a change of venue, or at the very least, a change of what's it. This is all very wonderful, I'm sure, but I was rather hoping to learn more about your nourishment provision facilities. In other words, where is the food? I believe both the knowledge and consumables you seek may be found at Mariol Agronomics. I imagine Singing Way and the others intend to study every conceivable facet of this apparatus. Wouldst thou be so kind as to escort our visiting culinarian? Yes, it sounds much more interesting. Hopefully I'll be able to see firsthand some of the delicacies Iriange was telling me about. Even his incredibly vivid, if a bit too verbose, descriptions cannot compare to sampling them myself, not to mention Aetheris will soon be no more, so I must learn all I can while there is still time. Let us brook no further delay. Oh, get out of here. This is the place, yes? The heady aroma was enough to guide me here, and I've spotted several of the fruit and vegetables featured in our compendium. I'd dearly love to try some, but I read that those who help themselves to a farmer's crops without permission are often caught and put into pies. Perhaps you could ask whoever's in charge if they would be willing to part with a few samples? Cooking Way is now accompanying you. Keep him at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. You can leave Cooking Way behind by entering a different area by speaking with him and selecting the option to part ways. Wish to have Cooking Way accompany you again, return and speak with him at the original location. What a fine mess this is. Ah, it's you, the one who climbed down the mine shaft. I'd show you around if I could, but I'm rushed off my feet preparing for the Exodus. And I'm not the only one. We've all got to find ways to do what we do down here, up there. First on the moon, then on whichever star the Forum decides will become our new home. It's also sudden, so unreal. Don't you want to go to the moon? Well, it's better than waiting for the final days to claim us. No matter how carefully it's all planned, we'll never be able to take every variety of flora and fauna with us. Even the ones we can take may not survive in their new environment, so many species doomed to extinction. Sorry, that's not what you came to talk about, is it? Nothing quite so dire, I assure you. We merely wish to sample a little of your produce, if we may. By all means, help yourselves. Much appreciated, my good fellow. So, where to begin? Oh, I know what these are. Grapes, yes? Let's see if they're as delicious as they look. So sweet, so sour. The taste is much like a ripe philosopher's carrot, and yet the texture is entirely different. The contrast between the outer skin and the fruit within is most peculiar, though far from unpleasant. Yes, I think I'll try another. Well, that's certainly given me food for thought, though in a far less visceral manner than any philosopher's carrot. But tell me, what is your opinion of grapes? I'd brave an erupting volcano for a choice bunch. Meh, ghastly things. I'd rather eat rancid gigantoad eyeballs. Prefer mine in liquid form. Yes, they are rather Moorish, aren't they? And from what I've read, quite versatile too. Something about people stepping on them to make intoxicating beverages, as I recall. Anyway, that's enough about grapes for the time being. On to the next treat. Orange by name, orange by nature. What came first? The fruit of the color? Who cares? Let's eat. Yes, that's, equal parts sweet and sour as with the grapes, yet nothing alike. I may have to consult Uriange about expanding my vocabulary. I simply cannot find the words to describe it. Perhaps what I'm looking for is bitter. This is all very complicated, you know? So many flavors, so many choices, and each individual with their own personal preferences. Now I see why you all turned your noses up at the idea of eating nothing but carrots. Marvelous though they still are in my estimation, let no one say I said otherwise. But speaking of carrots, I've yet to sample any of the vegetables. Let's see what's in that field over there. That color, that texture, are they some sort of enormous round carrots? No, in any case, proper nomenclature is less of a concern than the taste. Look, it's so hard and flavorless as I may as well be chewing a piece of wood. That all but confirms that these are nothing more than misbegotten failures masquerading as goodly carrots. Stop, stop, stop. Can't you see these are pumpkins? No one with any sense would try eating them raw. You're supposed to cook them first. Do you not find it an awful bother? Far from it. Cooking is a joy unto itself. What's more, it broadens the range of ingredients that we may safely eat. Above all else, cooking allows us to draw out the full potential of our produce. Pumpkin stew has been one of my favorite dishes for as long as I can remember. And perhaps even these hard blocks of plant matter can become as delicious as the orange I sampled. I wonder, though, if there's anything even more delicious. How about that yellow fruit over yonder? What a wondrous fragrance. With luck, it'll have a flavor to match. I have no idea how these are eaten. I'll just bite into it. My tongue. Is this poison? A lemon? You mean it's supposed to taste like this? How can something so similar to an orange be so revolting? Can maybe sometime before my palate recovers from this ordeal. As such, I had best call an end to this round of sampling. Let's say our farewells and return to the others. Finished, have you? I trust you found something to your liking. I'm rather enamored with grapes and oranges, less so the pumpkin, though I learned the hard way that they're not to be eaten raw. And there was the lemon, the deceiver. I still feel so violated. First time, was it? Hate for you to leave with a bad taste in your mouth in more ways than one, so I'll give you this lemon muffin I baked. If this doesn't change your opinion, nothing will. More lemon? Have I not suffered enough? Nevertheless, it would be remiss of me to spurn this opportunity to... Oof. Bit of sick came up there. Learn more of your inscrutable ways. Very well, lemon muffin, do your worst. Delicious. Although I still detect a hint of lemon, it complements the sweetness of the dough to create a perfect harmony. I never would have guessed its vile bitterness could be utilized so elegantly. My good chap, this is simply breathtaking. See, we rarely use lemon in its natural state, but it has a starring role in all sorts of recipes, and the same is true for many other ingredients. It comes down to making the most of the resources at our disposal, and sometimes that can even be the difference between life and death. I know we won't be able to take every species with us. No doubt the forum agonized over what was worth preserving and what will be consigned to history. Hard choices, but make them we must if we're to survive. Such strength of will. Now I know what Heidelin sees in your kind. Mankind, the Loperids, we were both born from the accumulated knowledge of the ancients. We learned all there is to learn about the nature of sentient life and the fates of the stars themselves. Once a civilization has fulfilled the basic requirements for survival, it will inevitably seek to eliminate all forms of negativity and achieve perfection. Therein lies its folly and its downfall. For perfection is an unattainable ideal. 'Tis the paradox of the immaculate carrot. Yet civilizations since time immemorial have deemed the pursuit of perfection as progress. They pay no heed to the cost incurred in their futile quest, and all too often become the architects of their own demise, their dreams forever unfulfilled. What then is the alternative? The answer lies in knowing that our existence can never be perfect, be content with what we have, and make the most of it. When life gives you lemons, make lemon muffins. Hear, hear. Pardon my Eorzean, but when the seven hells are you on about, and who are you anyway? Cooking away at your service. I'm here to help prepare for the trip to the moon. And once you get there, you'll be able to try my carrots. I've been growing all different kinds. But don't worry, there'll be room for your crops too. We'll work together to preserve as many of Etheirus' species as possible, if you're up to the challenge. Yes, of course, I look forward to it. Now, this has all been highly productive, probably. Let's go and see if Urianger and the others have run out of machinery to inspect, shall we? Back we go. That was most enlightening, especially the part with the lemon muffin. Actually, I was wondering, do you know of any other places famed for their cuisine? Imzalaminza is home to the Culinarians Guild and many less than savory establishments. Far East has oodles of noodles. Would that I had time to visit. The more I learn of Aetheris, the more I wish we could spare it from the final days. Last, Heidelin's orders are to flee, not to resist. If only there was some other way. Level 88, Agriculture Shock. Complete.